Guide to the thematic repository of the Jewish Digital Library. Small Jewish communities in the Balkans existed during the Ottoman Empire and were first mentioned in Serbia in the 9th century. At the end of the 15th century, after the expulsion of Jews from Spain and Portugal, these communities increased significantly. Exiled Jews found refuge in countries that were under the rule of the Ottoman Empire, as was Serbia at that time. Although the Balkans had rough history, Jewish communities developed and prospered in cultural, educational, social, and even political life. They managed to integrate and become a significant part of Serbian society, but also to preserve their national and religious identity. Unfortunately, the Jewish community in Serbia was almost completely destroyed in the Holocaust, but those who survived through different activities are trying to maintain their Jewish identity and life. That is why it's important to find and collect numerous bibliographic and historical sources and materials about Jews and Judaism that originated in Serbia. This rich heritage is evidenced by the fact that by the beginning of the 20th century, over 100 Jewish books were printed in Belgrade, the first of which, Tikkun Hatzot, was published in 1837. It is also important to note that from 1888 until today, 76 Jewish magazines have been published in Serbia, of which the first, El Amigo del Pueblo, or The People's Friend, was printed in 1888 in Ladino. The Jewish Digital Library Association strives to collect and make this valuable Jewish heritage visible. Long-term work on collecting material began as part of the projects of the Federation of Jewish Communities of Serbia related to the documentation of the Holocaust, and cooperation with the Computer Center of the University of Belgrade, which enabled the establishment and maintenance of the repository. The Computer Center has adopted the DSpace software platform and developed a number of tools for managing, accessing, preserving, and sharing data, as well as for increasing visibility. The association has defined clear goals: making of a unique and comprehensive database, open access, facilitated finding and using materials, as well as increasing the visibility and availability of digital content in Serbian and similar languages related to Jewish heritage. The goals of the association are achieved through connecting and cooperating with Jewish organizations, scientific institutions, researchers dealing with Jewish heritage, local and national libraries, archives and museums, and international aggregators that take over metadata from the Jewish Digital Library. The results of the association have become visible and recognizable. Over 37,000 pages were scanned on the Fujitsu mobile scanner. All pages are processed in fine reader software and go through the process of optical character recognition. The basic software of the scanner defines the margins and the separated side of the documents. Over 1,600 records for articles, books, video and audio material were created. Abstracts and keywords also were created in Serbian and English, and for all digital objects formatted and set thumbnails in low resolution. The concept and structure of the repository are based on processing of different materials, archiving and preserving, open access, various search options, reusing, respecting for copyright and publisher rights, and visibility on the Internet. For easy and functional use of the repository, on the front page of the screen, options are offered for language selection, registration, the user guide that includes the legal framework and data privacy, tracking the latest records, and selection of searching views. The repository is organized by topics related to recognizable content in the broadest sense. Topics are divided into collections that gather related material. One document can be in multiple collections. Topics are divided into subtopics. All publications that are published continuously, such as journals or collections, are gathered in subtopics under a common title. Subtopics are divided into collections that correspond to separate years or issues of serial publications. Within the topics, the collection can be searched individually, and within the collection it is possible to search for separate volumes or issues. A separate volume or issue can be searched by author, title, or keywords, or select a specific article. Different types of material can be deposited in the repository: books, scientific papers, archival documents, conference papers, posters, educational materials, pictures, audio and video recordings, and other contents. Files can be deposited in any format for text, images, audio, video, and spreadsheet, with the recommendation to use open and sustainable formats. Examples of various contents deposited in the repository include reviews of books or websites, or video and audio materials. One specific topic is addressed to Jewish families and individuals. Among other things, it contains the memories of members of the Jewish community, such as the personal stories and autobiographical books of Mr. Alexander Eisenberg, a Holocaust survivor. Also, one of the possibilities is to single out some parts of the documents that we want to draw attention to, and that can be described in the notes. It can be a genealogical tree, a spreadsheet with important data, a family photo, a sound recording, and something similar. It is possible to process spreadsheets with research data, or conferences with additional material, programs, leaflets, invitations, etc., which can be added as separate files. One of the specific collections also includes various types of educational material on the culture, history, and tradition of the Jewish people, which are researched by several non-governmental organizations in Serbia. A significant advantage of the repository is its multiple uses in the scientific community. Researchers dealing with Jewish topics can deposit their works in different versions, from working to published. Also, their work can have different levels of access, from drafts to publicly available work, and can be linked to the projects in which they participate. The different levels of access can be illustrated through the following examples. The article from the collection of papers is an open access and can be downloaded freely. The article from the same collection is not publicly available and can be downloaded only by registered users. The article was available to registered users only for a while, and then the peer-reviewed version was placed in open access. In that case, a standard text with the imprint and the selected license is added in front of the article. One of the benefits for users is the ability to export a specific reference for further citation, or to complete bibliography in ORCID or some other personal profile. Exporting a large number of records from the collection is possible in RIS and BibTeX format through an external application created by the development team of the Computer Center. Searching the complete repository is possible in several ways: by typing a specific word in the search field, by choosing keywords via alphabetical order, or by selecting from the offer menu according to the year of publication, type, version, availability, collections, and keywords. The same type of search is also possible through separate topics, in which the views of the results can be sorted by authors, titles, and keywords. The items in the repository consist of deposited documents and metadata describing them. Deposited files are publicly available except for those that are restricted by contract, copyright, or embargo access. Metadata is freely available to everyone and can be used under a Creative Commons license. After completion of the entry via the basic view or metadata view, along with a set of standard Dublin Core metadata, data related to the project, access, license, and document version can also be seen. To deposit publication in the Jewish Digital Library, authors have to complete a consent form and submit their publication in the recommended format. Files that don't meet the technical requirements or their contents are not directly related to the criteria and objectives of the Jewish Digital Library cannot be deposited. With the consent form, it's required to select and complete one of the offered licenses. Increasing visibility on the Internet, the Jewish Digital Library achieves through connecting and sharing data with various databases and platforms, such as WorldCat, the world's largest network for library content and services. OpenDoor, directory of open access repositories. Google Scholar for searching the scientific literature. NOAA, networks overcoming anti-Semitism. Core, aggregator for open access papers. And Wikimedia Serbia, where over 50 new topics related to content and resources from the Jewish Digital Library were posted in March 2021. Cooperation with Wikipedia was realized within the International GLAM project for galleries, libraries, archives, and museums, and refers to digitization of cultural heritage and increasing the visibility of cultural institutions and their collections on Wikipedia, and then an editorial marathon for creating and addition articles on famous Jews, Judaism, Jewish culture, and history. The Jewish Digital Library was also presented on the Digital History Portal, which collects together web addresses and internet sites from history, historiography, and archival science. Then, at the Faculty of Philosophy in Belgrade, at the online workshop Jewish Art and Tradition, which has been continuously organized since 2008 by the Center for the Study of Jewish Art and Culture. Tracking the global visibility and attendance of the Jewish Digital Library is possible via Google Analytics, while individual documents can be tracked in the repository itself within the offered menu for viewing statistics. The achieved results show that the deposited items covered the period from 1867 to 2021. So far, over 1,600 different types of documents have been deposited, from books and articles to master's theses. Of the total number, more than 97% are in completely open access. The team that is dedicated and visionary working on this project are members of the Belgrade Jewish community, Ivan Nador, Biljana and Aaron Al-Bahari. The goal of this team is the further development of the Jewish Digital Library and the collection of materials that will present the rich heritage and destiny of Yugoslav and Serbian Jews in a representative and recognizable way.